India chose to bat in Barbados in a Super 8 encounter against Afghanistan, and on a pitch that wasn't as much a batter's dream as probably everybody had expected and hoped and wanted it to be. Ball that was stopping and coming on. India has done well, you'd say, to reach 181, lost 8 wickets in the bargain but kept going, and Suryakumar Yadav leading the charge there with yet another half-century, so that's back-to-backs for him. Hardik Pandya supporting him with a 32 on the other end, and for Afghanistan, the pick of the bowlers, definitely the captain, Rashid Khan, went for a smidge over a run of ball but picked up 3 wickets, as did Fazal Haq Farooqi with his 3 for 33. I'm Gaurav Kapur. This is Cricbuzz Live. With me, Adam Gilchirst and Zaheer Khan. I think, Zach, before we do anything else, before anything else happens, we want to celebrate the momentous occasion of Adam Gilchrist getting off the mark in the guessing game with his first correct guess. Big round of applause.
In this tournament, got one right in the IPL, didn't I?
Just the one, right?
Just one. So I've doubled up.
So long ago. Yeah. You think we should remember it because it's the only one, right? Yeah. But we all thought, and in fairness, we all thought 190s were our guesses. Everyone in the Hindi show as well, 190s were their guesses. We were hoping for the pitch to be there, but despite what it was, you'd say India's done well. But let's just first talk about the surface and your impressions of it.
Yeah, it just didn't skid on. Thought it would have skidded on with the brand new ball, but it didn't. It was catching a very dry surface. Already that entire wicket block has not got a blade of grass or moisture on it. But no, I think we saw the frustrations early from Rohit Sharma. He ended up knocking one straight up in the air after trying a few sort of cross-bat strokes, getting no timing. And so too Virat, a run a ball 20-odd. You could just sense that frustration in a couple of players there in particular that have been short on runs, short on real opportunity to have a decent hit on a nice track. But then really the guy that started the momentum going was Rishabh Pant at number 3. I thought he was terrific the way he came out and showed that intent.
Yeah, talk about Rishabh, of course, and Surya, because those two. But let's talk about the openers first, because, it was hard in those first few overs of the power play for both of them. The ball not coming onto the bat as much as they would like from maybe Naveen and Fazal.
Yeah, the power play in this format, if the wicket is nice and true, the ball coming onto the bat, you can easily play in the gaps and get good value for those shots. Today it was not one of those kind of days. So it was a scratchy start, and the frustration was there for both of them. But I think Rishabh Pant, the intent was right, and then Surya doing Surya things. That sweep, once you start playing that against spinners and you start connecting, you could see that Rashid also was trying to get into head of Surya, saying that why are you playing that shot on the surface, isn't it? That little banter which is going on. But I think Surya's innings was a crucial innings in the context of how the pitch was playing and how the start was on the slower side for Indian batters. So it was very important that the momentum which was created from Rishabh Pant, Surya just capitalized on that beautifully.
I think, Gilly, we were talking about this when it was happening in when the league stages in America, about how you get it's almost like the fruit being sweet, the patience, right, being the virtue, and how if you stick it out, you can keep kind of upping the run rate. And it's what's happened today. I think the reward was for those who just wanted to stick it out, because as you see, the run rate's just kind of gone up. It almost seems counterintuitive, because usually the power play is very high and then 7 to 10 slightly slower. But this is a new template we're seeing in this World Cup.
Yeah, and particularly the back end of innings, teams across the T20 world are knowing that they're banking on 11, 12, 13 and over for the last 3-4 overs. That just seems to be keep some wickets in hand, although India probably lost more today than what you typically see in a T20 innings. But you're right, that I think they summed it up well. That Rohit got frustrated, but Virat did allow himself a bit of an opportunity to just lay a small platform. Rishabh, as we've mentioned, really said, right, I'm going to play my way here. But I think that's what we're seeing with T20 innings now. It's more, even if you don't get the flying start in the power play, still just keep building, and then at the end. The power, the stroke options that batters have in this day and age. Teams can really put the foot down at the back end there. So they cashed in well. I think that's a very, very competitive total on this pitch.
Yeah, because they really went. As you can see, the last phase definitely been maximised. Just want to talk about the bowling options in the power play. Interesting. Nabi gets the new ball, bowls the second over. It's a good one. 3 runs. Bowls the fourth. It's 9 runs. As a captain now, you're thinking, should I go with another one on the power play? That's always a dice you have to roll, right? They did it. Rishabh took him for 13 in that over. But that's a tricky one always because you get a little greedy, don't you?
Yeah, and as a result, Omazai didn't bowl in the power play.
Yeah.
So that is something which did put pressure on him, is what my feeling was. But yeah, I think it was a tactical call from Rashid at that stage, knowing that he's going to come right after the power play is done. So he wanted to maximize Noor and his overs in that middle phase of the game.
Yeah.
Now, what happens typically when a finger spinner is held back for too long, you kind of get caught up. And then you might not end up utilizing his 4 overs.
Yeah.
So that was the conscious effort I felt, and maybe you'll see that from Rohit as well, because the pitch is assisting spinners.
Yeah.
So you want to use as many overs of spinners as possible, and for him to do that, if he waits till power play, it's going to be difficult for him to squeeze in all the overs and maximize that help which is on offer from the pitch. So I think, 1 over too many, but that was a calculated risk which Rashid took at that stage.
But just staying on their bowling and staying on the captain, how good was Rashid today? It's just one of those come at the hour, come at the man. He's just that kind of guy, isn't he?
Absolutely, and that's including a 4 off his last ball, which he just dropped short to Hardik Pandya, who put it away. But he 13 dot balls. The skill set of Rashid Khan and the man at the top of the list there, Faruqi, really impressed with his development in his game, with his skill set, slower balls. He summed up the conditions quite well, but he's so reliable, Rashid, isn't he? He's a real banker. Gets the big wickets, the big players out, Kohli's and the like. So yeah, I thought his captaincy, he shuffled it well. He kept trying against a power pack batting lineup. They managed to just take wickets just at the right time, just before sort of a big launch would come. I thought he rallied his troops quite well, and although I think it's big advantage India on that pitch with the runs that they've got, they'll believe, even at the end of the innings, you could see before they walked off, he gathered the team in, come in. So his enthusiasm is infectious, and he's really trying, his willpower, he's just willing them on to try and come with him and take on one of these cricketing giants.
I like, because you were talking about Fazal Faruqi when we were watching the game as well, and I'll get Zach in on that before we come to Surya, because he really was the star of the Indian batting. But Fazal Faruqi, he's got this action. He comes running in, and you think it's going to be 160 km, right? And he's got this action which almost seems like bull in a china shop kind of loading up. But as Gilly Singh, very impressed with the kind of control that he has and his development in general.
Yeah, good variations, and he's a bit of a skiddy character, isn't it? Like the ball skids on. He's been getting the swing. He's got the variations which are required for this format. You've seen today the slow conditions. He was using those cutters well. Can bowl a good Yorker. And another player who has been part of the franchise cricket globally. Regular feature in many teams. So that's something which is giving him that exposure as well for him to grow as a bowler. And even though in IPL this year he didn't really get many chances, I think he's not played. But last season he played a lot of matches.
Yeah.
So I think he's someone who is going to develop into a fine bowler.
Yeah, so, and of course, there you go. He picked up 3 wickets today and did give away 33 runs, but those are the 3 wickets that he, of course, will like these returns for sure. Tell you whose returns we like is Suryakumar Yadav. Said before the game that the sky has no limit. In the previous game, he got a 50. Chancey, that one was. He was given a life here. he was completely in control from the beginning. That aggression we talk about, irrespective 2 wickets have fallen, he just comes out and he plays as if it's the first ball of the game.
Yeah, and attacked Rashid Khan too,
Yeah.
which not many do.
Yeah.
Most try to just see him off, but they're great numbers, aren't they, on a pitch that we think's just holding a little bit naggy to come out and score at 190 strike rate, and that's the foundation of that innings. And you could see that you talk about his desire to entertain. You see the reaction when he hits a stroke and they cut to the change rooms of his teammates, and you see the joy on their faces, and some strokes they're looking at each other going, what's happened there? How's he done that? But again, talk about infectious attitudes and wanting to spread that throughout a team. I think he's got that sort of character, and it plays out in his game. But it looks risky, but it's so well thought out. There was one ball that there was a field change and he really wanted to try and get it to the leg side, so he premeditated, went across, got down, but the ball kept going wider, so he just opened the face and ran it down just for a couple. It wasn't a boundary, but that tells me it's not just sort of wham, bam, thank you, man, just risk at all costs. There's a bit more of a calculated mind in that between the ears there, and I think he does it and executes it so well.
I think that's a great point, because a lot of times we just judge the risk factor of a shot by just seeing the shot. Yeah. And a lot of viewers, a lot of us fans forget that you need to know where the fielder is. It's a risky option but if you're playing it where there's no fielder, then it's not a risky shot.
Yeah, I think it's also a process for batters, and maybe Gilly will elaborate on that. But it's about knowing the conditions, knowing the opposition, knowing the bowlers, and then saying that, okay, these are my options, and then sticking to that, isn't it? It's like a pattern which you have, and that's what you talk about, a batter getting in the zone, isn't it? Like once you are in, you know that the computer is working properly. You know this is how you're going to approach your innings, and then it just kind of flows from there. I think with Surya, that's what you've been saying, and he did mention in the press conference before the match that it's about adaptability. It's about these conditions. You need to be able to know which are the options which you're going to take and how you're going to adapt and play a role for the team is something which is going to be a top priority.
He summed up those conditions. He a slowish turning wicket. He hit conventional hard sweep shots with power to the spin, and when he took on the quicker or the seam bowlers, he hit straight. He got a couple back over their head, so just didn't. Once you start as a batter going across the line looking for power on that track against a guy like any seamer coming in taking the pace off it's very hard. You got to make perfect contact to clear the rope or clear a fielder. So he summed it up really nicely.
The six which he hit off Farooqi, he waited on it nicely. That's just basically realizing what option to take, and he just executed to perfection.
Yeah, there was a couple of ball changes that happened because. In the parking lot, thanks to Surya and Rishabh. All right, Afghanistan needs to get 182 to pick up these 2 points in this Super 8 group. Can they do it? Well, there's a change in the opening combination here. There's Gurbaz and Zaheer who are opening. So, we've got to do our power play guesses now. And, it's tough with Gurbaz and Zaheer because if they get going, they could get 60 plus.
Actually, we should have anticipated that, isn't it? Zaheer is someone who usually opens.
Yeah.
When they made that change, it was going to be maybe Ibrahim Zadran coming at number 3 and then Zaheer opening with Gurbaz.
Yeah.
I mean, these two, if they get going, anything is possible for them, and they'll have to capitalize on the power play if they have to have a go at this run chase.
But you also know that if Gurbaz gets out, know that the Zadran.
So I'm going with 45.
Trying to confuse him.
That exact number there was.
I just want to tell you, there's 5 runs of the first ball.
Is it wide?
5 off the first ball.
Yeah.
Down the leg.
It's good. There was a wide and then a 4.
Right.
So wide down the outside and then a 4. So people are wondering, how is he watching this? Like, where is he seeing it? I get it here directly. I've got a chip. I'll tell you.
Okay, 47.
47? I think I'll go a little higher. Let me go 50. 56.
Ooh.
Come on. God, that's a lot. I don't know why I've gone 56. That's a lot.
So I assume that Arshdeep's bowling the first over?
Harshdeep's bowling the first over.
Yeah. So maybe Aksha, that second one, like you said, one of the left arm orthos.
Could be. All right. Well, that's it. So that's our show. We're going to see you at the end of the 10th over at Cricbuzz Combox. So do join us then. We'll do a little update of how the chase is going for Afghanistan. But that's all we have time for now. From Adam Gilchirst, Zaheer Khan Gaurav Kapur. Thank you for watching Cricbuzz Live. Bye-bye.